Hello everyone, welcome back to Math Works by Vishal. So in the previous video, we have seen the part 1 of top 10 PYQs from the chapter Vector Algebra, right? Now in this part 2, we'll see the remaining 5 questions in the chapter Vector Algebra, which you must know before you write your next JEE mains session. So let's see the first question for this video. Now this is a question from JEE Advanced 2020. Let A and B are two positive real numbers. So let's keep that in mind that A comma B are positive real numbers. Suppose PQ bar and PS bar are the adjacent sides of a parallelogram PQRS. Okay. Now let's draw the diagram also for that one. So we'll take the parallelogram PQRS. So this is PQRS. And then the vector PQR is directly given to you, that is AI cap plus BJ cap. And then PS bar is also given here, which is AI cap minus of BJ cap. Now, next part, that is let U bar and V bar are the projection vectors of W cap along the vectors PQ bar and also PS bar. And also one condition is given that modulus of U bar plus modulus of V bar is equals to modulus of W bar. Okay, but already W bar is given to us. We can substitute that. But here we have to use the concept of what? The projection vector of one vector along another vector. But since here they are asking about the modulus of U and modulus of V, we just need to write down the lengths of projections of one vector along another vector. But we know the formula, right? Projection of A bar on B bar formula is what? A bar dot B divided by modulus of B bar. So let's use that formula and I will write it here. You can notice modulus of U bar, that is the magnitude of projection of U bar, projection of W bar along PQ bar. So let's write down the formula. So modulus of U bar will be is equals to modulus of W bar dot PQ bar whole divided by modulus of PQ bar. And at the same time, we'll write down what is modulus of V bar also. So modulus of V bar is equals to modulus of W bar dot PS bar whole divided by modulus of PS bar, because we know the formula that the projection of A bar along B bar is given by A dot B divided by modulus of B here. And since here they are talking particularly about only mod U and mod V, I have put the modulus sign here. Okay. Now clearly all the vectors are given to you. You can look at that. W bar is there and also PQ bar is there. So by looking at these two, we'll write down this modulus of U bar value directly. So modulus of U bar is equals to the dot product of W and PQ there, you can notice that we will be getting modulus of A plus B divided by what is the magnitude of PQ bar here? Clearly it is square root of A square plus B square. In the similar way, if you look at this modulus of V bar, W bar dot PS bar. So try to do the dot product there. W dot PS will give you modulus of A minus B divided by, and what is again modulus of PS bar, which is again same, that is square root of A square plus B square. Now moreover, we'll have to calculate modulus of W bar also. So modulus of W bar is equals to square root of 2 directly. You can see that in the question itself. And then let's put all these values back in the given equation. Okay, so let's do that. From which you get modulus of A plus B divided by square root of A square plus B square plus modulus of V will be mod of A minus B divided by square root of A square plus B square is equals to, here modulus of W is square root of 2, and you can take LCM here and send that to the right hand side top, and finally we get one simplified equation that mod of A plus B plus mod of A minus B is equals to square root of 2 multiplied by root over A square plus B square. Okay. Now let's concentrate on this first statement, given that A comma B are positive real numbers, right? So let's mention that condition here. Since A comma B are positive, I can definitely say that mod of A plus B will be positive. It is A plus B is positive, and you can remove the modulus sign, and only this mod of A minus B will be remaining, so which is equals to square root of 2 into A square plus B square. Okay, so this is what you get on simplifying. and let's take it as equation number 1. Okay. Now, to expand this mod of A minus B, obviously we will need two cases, right? So let's start the cases. Let's say I'm taking one of the case here, that A greater than or equals to B. If A greater than or equals to B, I can directly write down mod of A minus B is equals to A minus B. So let's put that in the equation number 1, from which you get A plus B plus A minus B is equals to square root of 2 into A square plus B square. So if you cancel out this, you'll be getting it as 2A is equals to square root of 2 into A square plus B square. If you square on both sides, finally what you get is 2A square is equals to, sorry, 2A square plus 2B square is equals to 4A square. And if you send that 2A square to the left side, you get 2A square is equals to 2B square. Or else directly you can say A square is equals to B square. And if A square is equals to B square, then we get A is equals to plus or minus B here. Okay. But clearly, given that A comma B are of same sign, which eliminates the case of A is equals to minus B, which means only one possible case, that is A is equals to B. Only possible case is A is equals to B. Okay. Now we got one condition here that A is equals to B. And now let's read the options here. What are the options now? First option is A plus B is equals to 4. Second option is A minus B is equals to 2. Which means we are still supposed to find out the values of what? A and also B here. Okay. But in the question, if you observe carefully, there is one more condition given to you, that is area of the parallelogram. Area of the parallelogram PQRS is given to you, which is 8 units, right? So in this case, we know how to write down the area of the parallelogram. Given that area is equals to 8 units, area is nothing but what? Modulus of PQ bar cross PS bar. That is cross product of two adjacent sides of a parallelogram. So modulus of PQ cross PS, which should be is equals to 8 here. Okay, no? And then clearly you can calculate this value, right? If you have the vector PQ bar, if you have the vector PS bar, you know very well how to calculate the cross product of two vectors, right? And then if you substitute that condition here, you will get one more equation that AB is equals to 4. Okay, once again, I'm leaving the calculation part to you. So once again, you can notice A is equals to B and also AB is equals to 4, which means the only possibility will be A is equals to 2 and also B is equals to 2. So which means clearly the option 1 is true here. A plus B is equals to 4. Okay. And also one more thing here, I'm doing only the case 1, that is A greater than or equals to B. Now it's your turn to check the other case, that take the case of A less than B and check if the answer is going to change or not. Okay. I will leave that part to you. Now we have checked the option A and option B. Now let's go through this option C. They're asking us to find out the length of the diagonal PR of this parallelogram. Okay, but I think this is very easy. Almost everyone can do it here because this PR is the diagonal. But since it is a parallelogram, what do we know about this parallelogram? By using parallelogram law of vectors, that PR bar diagonal here in this case should be is equals to PQ bar plus PS bar. PQ bar plus PS bar. And the advantage is what? Now you know both PQ bar and also PS bar because you have the values of A and B with you, right? So take these two values, substitute it here, and find out the vector PR bar. Okay, so find out and then verify if the option C is correct or not. Now, once again, I'm leaving the calculation part to you because I gave you the entire area. The only thing is simple calculation is required from your side. Okay. Now, look at the option D here. W bar is an angle bisector of PQ bar and also PS bar. Okay. Now here we can do this question in different ways. One thing is you can verify by using the concept of angle bisector. So I'll give you the hint for this option D. Now it is your turn to check the option D here. Okay. So I'll give you the rough idea. If there are two vectors A bar and B bar, and then the angle bisector of A bar and B bar is along lambda times of A cap plus or minus B cap. Okay. So clearly any angle bisector of A bar and B bar will be a scalar multiple of A cap plus B cap here. Now, clearly, if you want to verify for angle bisector, what you can do here that we can verify that whether it is a scalar multiple of PQ cap plus or minus PS cap. Okay. So in option D, you have to verify whether this W bar is an angle bisector of PQ and PS set. So clearly, I gave you the idea. You have PQ bar, you have PS bar. Find out PQ plus or PQ cap plus or minus PS cap, and then check whether it is a scalar multiple of the vector W bar or not. That is one way of doing it. And we have the other way also for this question. Let's see the second question. Two vectors A bar and B bar are given to us, and there is a third vector C bar which is given as some alpha times of A bar and then beta times of B bar, and then the condition given is alpha comma beta, both are real numbers. Okay, and also this question is from 2019 JE Advanced. Okay, so as I told, this kind of questions will be repeated. So you can see in the last question also we had an option involving projection of one vector along another vector, right? So here also again it's a concept of projection, but the way you calculate this question is somewhat different to the previous one. Okay, so let's see what we are going to do. Now let's write down what is given next. If the projection of C bar on the vector A plus B is 3 root 2. Okay, but we know the formula very well that projection of A bar on B bar is given by B divided by modulus B bar. Projection of A bar on B bar. Okay, but here in this case we have to find out projection of C bar on the vector A plus B. Okay, C bar on the vector A bar plus B bar. So let's write down the formula. This 3 root 2 is nothing but C bar dot A plus B whole divided by modulus of A plus B. Okay. But clearly you can calculate what is A plus B here, right? So let's do that calculation. A bar plus B bar will be is equals to 3I cap plus 3J cap, and then clearly K cap gets cancelled. So this is your vector A bar plus B bar. Okay. Now here I can calculate the modulus also for this one. So modulus of A bar plus B bar is equals to square root of 9 plus 9, which is equals to root 18, that is 3 times of square root 2. Okay. So if you cross multiply that here, you will be getting 3 root 2 multiplied by 3 root 2 is equals to C bar dot A bar plus B bar. Okay. Now, next here, if you look at the required part, we have to find out the minimum value of C bar minus A cross B whole dot C. Okay. Now, here, let's try to put this condition here that C bar is already given to us what? Alpha times of A bar plus beta times of B bar. Let's take that and substitute it here. And left hand side will be clearly 18 because it is 3 root 2 whole square. And C bar is given as alpha A bar plus beta B bar, and that dot product with A bar plus B bar. So let's try to expand and see what happens. This will be 18 is equals to, now let's use the distributive law to expand the complete dot product over here, from which you get alpha times of A dot A plus alpha times of A dot B plus beta times of A dot B plus beta times of B dot B. But we know what is A dot A and B dot B here. A dot A is nothing but mod A whole square. So let's calculate that. A dot A is equals to mod A whole square. In this case, it is nothing but 4 plus 1 plus 1, which is equal to 6. Similarly, B dot B is equals to mod B whole square, which is nothing but 1 plus 4 plus 1, which is equals to 6. Okay. Now let's take these two values, and moreover, we have to calculate the value of A dot B also here. So A dot B, let's calculate, which is equals to 2 plus 2 minus of 1. So which means this A dot B will be is equal to 3. So let's take all these values and substitute it here. So 18 is equals to alpha into A dot A is 6 plus alpha into A dot B is 3 plus beta into again A dot B is 3 plus again beta into B dot B is 6. Now clearly what you get here is 6 times of otherwise let's write directly 6 alpha plus 3 alpha, which will be 9 alpha, and again 6 beta plus 3 beta, which is 9 beta. We'll take 9 common, and cancel out, and we get one condition that alpha plus beta is equals to. Okay. Now, by using the given equation, we have got one condition that alpha plus beta is equals to 2. Now, let's see what they are asking here. Minimum value of C minus A cross B dot C. Okay. So, let's write down that one. We have to find out the minimum value of C bar minus A cross B whole dot C here. Okay. But we know what is C bar once again. So, let's substitute that C bar here. What is this C bar in the question? Alpha into A bar plus beta into B bar minus of A cross B and whole multiplied with dot product with C bar. But C bar is again alpha A bar plus beta B bar. Okay. Now once again let's use the distributive law and try to expand, and let's see what happens here. The first term here will be alpha multiplied by A dot A plus alpha multiplied by A dot B plus beta multiplied by B dot A plus, and this is beta into alpha, right? Alpha square into A dot A plus alpha beta into A dot B plus again alpha beta into A dot B plus beta square into B dot B. And then if you look at the remaining terms, you're going to get it as alpha times of A cross B dot A and minus of beta times of A cross B dot B. Okay. But very clearly, we know that this A cross B dot A is going to be 0. Similarly, A cross B dot B is also is equals to 0 because they will be coplanar, right? And the remaining part is alpha square multiplied by A dot A already we got it as 6. So alpha square into 6 plus alpha beta into 2 times of alpha beta into A dot B. A dot B is 3. Let's substitute that. And plus again beta square multiplied by B dot B. B dot B is also 6 here. So finally what we get is, if I take 6 common, this will be alpha square plus beta square plus alpha beta. Okay. Now this is your value. And then we have one more condition in the solution itself, that we got alpha plus beta is equals to 2. Let's try to eliminate one of the variable by doing some simple manipulation. I can write this as 6 times of alpha plus beta whole square minus 2 alpha beta and plus alpha beta, which will give you minus alpha beta, right? And alpha plus beta is 2, and finally, which is 6 times of this is 4 minus of alpha into beta. 4 minus of alpha into beta. Okay. Now we'll try to eliminate the second variable beta, that is 4 minus of alpha times of beta is nothing but 2 minus of alpha. And on expanding, you get a quadratic in terms of alpha, right? So which will give you 4 minus 2 alpha plus alpha square, or else directly 6 times of this is nothing but alpha minus 1 whole square plus 3. Okay. You can write this alpha square minus 2 alpha plus 4 as alpha minus 1 whole square plus 3. But as per the given question, alpha can be any real number here, which means I can say that here alpha minus 1 whole square will be greater than or equals to 0. So that is why the minimum of this value will be is equals to 6 times of 0 plus 3, that is equals to 18, because the minimum value of alpha minus 1 whole square is 0. This happens when alpha is equals to 1. So for alpha is equals to 1, we get the minimum value which is equals to 18. Right? Let's take the next question. Now this is a question from last year JEE Mains, and one of the interesting questions which was asked in last year. So let's try to concentrate in this because lot of concepts and calculations are involved in this one. Right. So the question is, let the position vectors of the vertices A, B, and C of a tetrahedron ABCD are given. So vertex A is given, vertex B is given, vertex C is also given. So only thing not given is vertex D here. Now, next thing is the altitude from the vertex D to the opposite face ABC meets the median line segment through A of the triangle ABC at the point E. Right? And then length of AD is given to you, which is the square root of 110 divided by 3. And also volume of tetrahedron is also given to you. Okay, so as I told, lot of information is given. So we'll try to analyze step by step. No confusion here. So first thing, let's try to draw the diagram here. Okay. Now, since they are already mentioning that the opposite face ABC here, which means we'll try to take the base of this tetrahedron as ABC like this. So look at the diagram that I'm drawing here. Just a rough diagram. So let's say this is your base A, B, and C. And somewhere here we have the vertex D and will form the tetrahedron. So clearly we see a tetrahedron here, right? A, B, C, D. And also what is the vertex A given to us, which is 1, comma 2, comma 1. I'm writing in terms of ordered triad instead of vectors. Anything is fine. And vertex B is what? 1, comma 3, comma minus 2. Vertex C here is 2, comma 1, comma minus 1. And now, next part is what? Altitude from the vertex D to the opposite face ABC meets the median line through A of the triangle ABC, which means, first of all, you need to construct a median through the vertex A to the opposite side here. Okay. So let's say this is some point here, some point F will take. And since here AF is a median, okay, I'll mention it if here if you want. AF is the median. And if AF is the median, what exactly happens? F is the midpoint. So I can calculate the point F directly. Midpoint of B and C is the point F, which is 3 by 2, comma 2, comma minus 3 by 2. So we have the point F. And now the altitude from the vertex D to the opposite face ABC meets the median line through A at the point E. So this is the question here. Look at that properly. The diagram is the most important part. So if you take the altitude from the vertex D to the opposite face ABC, that altitude is meeting the median line through the vertex A at the point E here. Okay. But along with that, they gave the length of AD also here. So length of AD, let's write down, which is the square root of 110 divided by 3. Okay. And then volume of tetrahedron is also given to us. Okay. Now, first thing, we have to recall the formula of volume of tetrahedron. Volume of tetrahedron. So you know one formula, that is volume of tetrahedron is what? 1 by 6 times of box of A bar B, ABC, right? Box of A bar B bar C bar, where ABC are coterminous edges. But here we can't use this formula because you don't have all the vertices here, right? That is why we are going to use the basic form of tetrahedron. What is the basic formula of a tetrahedron? It is 1 by 3 times of area of the base multiplied by the height h. This is the basic formula for any tetrahedron, that is any pyramid also basically, which is 1 by 3 into area of the base multiplied by the height h. Okay. Now in this case, volume is already given to you, which is square root of 805 divided by 6 root 2 is equals to 1 by 3 into what is the base here that we have taken ABC, right? So which means I'm going to mention this as area of triangle ABC and multiplied by. Now, when you take the base as ABC, what is the height? Clearly, the altitude from the vertex D to the opposite face ABC is the height here, right? So which means the length DE is going to be the height of this tetrahedron. Okay. But which means here you are supposed to calculate the value of area of the triangle ABC. Now let's recall, how do you calculate area of the triangle ABC? In vectors, area of the triangle ABC is equals to half of modulus of AB bar cross AC bar. Modulus of AB bar plus AC bar. This will give you area of the triangle ABC. So I hope you can calculate the vectors AB bar because A is there, B is there, C is there. We can calculate AB bar and also AC bar and then take the cross product, apply modulus, substitute in the formula here, and from there you will get the area. Okay. And once again, I'm leaving the calculation part for you. You can do that later. So if you do the cross product here, you will get it as 1 by 2 times of square root of 35. Okay. Now let's take that area of the triangle ABC and substitute it here. from which you get square root of 805 divided by 6 root 2 is equals to 1 by 3 times of, and here what is the value that we got? 1 by 2 into square root of 35 multiplied by dE. And then here 6 will be cancelled out, and the remaining calculation you can do here, right? And if you do the proper calculation, you get the length dE is equals to square root of 23 divided by, because anyhow root 2 is there in the denominator, and when you calculate this root of 805 divided by root of 35, you'll get exactly 23 here. Okay, you can verify the calculation later, but the main thing here is we got the length of DE for the diagram. Now, shall we mention the DE in the diagram? So, DE is nothing but square root of 23 divided by 2. Okay, now after finding DE, now the question is not over yet. We have a lot more to do in this question, because ultimately what we have to find out, look at the question here. Ultimately, we have to find out the position vector of the point E, which means you have to find out the point E there. Okay. So for that, what I'm going to do is, first thing, there is a right angle triangle that you can see here. The triangle ADE is a right angle triangle. So I'll mention that here. In triangle ADE, which is right angle triangle at the vertex E, I'll apply Pythagoras theorem. Okay, which means AD square should be is equals to AE square plus DE square. And from there, I can get the value of AE here. AE is equals to, and AD square is already known to us in the question, that is 110 divided by 3, and this will be square root of 110 by 3 minus of DE square. DE square is nothing but 23 divided by 2. And once again, we have to properly calculate this one, from which you will get, again I'm leaving the calculation to you. So you will get the length of AE as square root of 13 divided by 18. 13 divided by 18. Okay. And again, I'm leaving the calculation part to you. Okay. So finally, we have got this value of AE. Now, the main reason we are finding out the length AE is, look at the diagram very carefully here. It's a complete question based on diagram now. I'm going to find out the vector AE bar here. Okay. If I want to find out the vector AE bar, only AE bar, what I will need the magnitude of AE, and also I will need the direction of AE. So I can say that the direction of AE is along the direction of AF here, which means if I want to construct the vector AE bar, look at the diagram very carefully here. If I want to construct AE bar, I can write it as magnitude of AE multiplied by the direction of AE, that is nothing but AE cap. But what I'll say is this AE cap is also same as AF cap, because AE cap and AF cap both are unit vectors, and also they are along the same direction. Obviously, they will be same. So this length of AE is nothing but square root of 13 divided by 8 multiplied by AE cap. You have to calculate, as I told, AE cap is also same as AF cap here. Okay. Now you know how to calculate the AF cap, right? Because first thing you have to calculate AF bar. AF bar is nothing but F bar minus E bar. So if you look at the diagram, F bar minus E bar will give you 1 by 2, and 2 will be cancelled out, and then minus of 5, 1 by 2 I cap minus of 5 by 2 K cap here. And from here, I think you know how to calculate the AF cap here, just taking the unit vector, right? So if you take the unit vector, it will be clearly I cap minus 5K cap whole divided by square root of 26. So take this value of AF cap and substitute. So from which you get square root of 13 divided by root of 8 is 2 root 2, and this is I cap minus 5K cap whole divided by square root of 26. Now, here clearly root 13 can be cancelled out. This will be square root of 2 into square root of 2. Finally, what we get is I cap minus 5K cap is divided by, and this will be whole divided by. And here it is root 13 by root 18, right? So root 18 is 3 root 2. So 3 into 2, which will give you 6. So finally, AE cap is equals to I cap minus phi k cap divided by 6. Now, here the question is not finding AE cap because our question is finding only E cap, E bar, that is position vector of E bar, right? So that is why, and moreover, this is AE bar, not AE cap, sorry. Yeah, so the reason behind finding AE bar is because I can write down this AE bar as E bar minus A bar, which is equals to I cap minus phi k cap divided by 6. So which means here E bar will be is equals to A bar plus I cap minus phi k cap whole divided by 6. But already you know what is A bar here, which is I cap plus 2j cap plus k cap, right? You can substitute that value I cap plus 2j cap plus k cap plus I cap minus phi k cap whole divided by 6. Now you can take LCM, and finally this will be 7 I cap plus 12j cap plus k cap whole divided by 6. So this is your position vector of point E. Okay. So definitely this question is not an easy question. The calculations are involved. I mean, lot of calculations are involved here, and too many concepts are also involved. So definitely, it's not a easy question. Even if you know the idea, it definitely takes some time to do the entire calculation. Okay, but obviously we know what is JEE means mathematics paper, right? Which is going to be definitely lengthy, so we have to be ready for that, obviously. Okay, let's take the next question. Now, once again, this is an important model. These kind of questions are being asked repeatedly in the JEE mains. And this is also a question from 2025 JEE mains session. It's a once again geometrical application. So let's see. Let arc AC of a circle subtend a right angle at the center O. So let's draw the diagram. This is the center O, and the arc AC is subtending a right angle at the center like this. So which means it is a quarter part of a circle, right? Obviously. Now this is, let's take it as A bar, the position vector, and let's take this as C bar here. Now let's continue the question. If the point B is on the arc AC, which divides arc AC such that length of arc AB divided by length of arc BC is equals to 1 divided by 5. But you have to recall that the length of arc formula, length of arc is equals to radius times of theta, where theta is in terms of radians, right? So this is our formula for length of arc. Okay. Now let's try to put the point B somewhere here. So let's take the point B somewhere here, whose position vector is B bar, and we'll join this O and B like this. Now they said that the length of arc AB. So clearly, if I take the radius of this one as some R units, as per the given condition here, as per the given condition, now the radius, length of arc AB is radius times of theta. So here I will take this as an angle theta like this. Okay, theta 1 I will take. So r times of theta 1 divided by length of arc BC. So length of arc BC is again radius times of angle included, and I will take the included angle here as theta 2. So it will be r times of theta 2, which is equals to 1 by 5. So clearly radius is same, and I can say 5 into theta 1 is equals to theta 2. But very clearly it is a right angle given. Theta 1 plus theta 2 is equals to pi by 2, and theta 2 is 5 theta 1, right? So which makes totally 6 theta 1 is equals to pi by 2, which makes theta 1 is equals to pi divided by 12. And if theta 1 is pi by 12, we can say that theta 2 will be is equals to pi divided by 12. Okay, so this is the first part of the question where we find out the angles included with respect to the sector, with respect to the arcs AB and also BC here. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now let's see the next part of the question, that is OC bar, that is C bar, is given as alpha times of A bar plus beta times of B bar. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I will take it as some equation number 1. Equation number 1. Now what I'm going to do is equation 1 dot product with A bar. So if I do that, let's see what happens. A bar dot C bar is equals to alpha times of A dot A plus beta times of A dot B. Okay. But if you observe carefully in the diagram itself, the two vectors A bar and also C bar are perpendicular to each other. So which makes A dot C as 0. So 0 is equals to alpha into A dot A is mod A whole square plus beta times of what is A dot B formula? Mod A into mod B into cos of angle between A and B. But look at the diagram once again. What is the angle between A and B here, which is theta 1, so which makes it as cos theta 1. But moreover, in this diagram, if you observe, can I say that directly mod A is equals to mod B and that is also is equals to mod C? All of these is equals to the radius because the distance between origin and all the points for A, B, C are radius, right? So I'll keep that in mind. So clearly, which means this will be is equal to 0 is equals to alpha into r square plus beta into r square multiplied by cos of theta 1. But what is theta 1 here? Pi by 12. So what is pi by 12? 15 degrees, right? So finally, if I cancel out r square, we get one equation. That is alpha plus beta into cos of 15 degrees is equals to 0. Okay. So we get one condition in terms of alpha and beta. Let's take it as equation number 2. Okay. Now next what I will do is I will do the equation 1 dot product with b bar now. So in this case, let's observe what we get. B bar dot c bar is equals to alpha into a dot b plus beta into b dot b. But once again, b dot c is mod b into mod c into cos of angle between b and c. What is the angle between b and c here? Theta 2. So it should be cos of theta 2 that is equals to alpha into a dot b is mod a into mod b into cos of angle between a and b is theta 1. So we'll write that is theta 1 plus beta times of b dot b is mod b whole square. But already we know that mod a, mod b, mod c, everything is same. Let's cancel it out completely. What's the remaining equation now? Cos of theta 2. What is theta 2 here? It is 5 pi by 2, which is nothing but 75 degrees. So cos of 75 degrees is equals to alpha into cos of theta 1. What is theta 1 in degrees? Already we have got that value. And plus beta. Okay. Now clearly I will take it as equation number 3. Equation number 3. Okay. Now clearly you know what to do. Two equations are there, two unknowns are there. From first equation, you can take alpha value, which is equals to minus beta times of cos of 15 degrees, and take that value of alpha, put it in the equation number 3, from which we get cos of 75 degrees is equals to alpha is what? Minus beta times of cos 15, but already one more cos 15 is there, which makes cos square of 15 degrees, and then plus beta. Now you can write this as cos 75 degrees, which is equals to, if you take beta common, it will be 1 minus cos square 15, which is sin square of 15 degrees. Okay. And finally, beta value will be is equals to cos of 75 divided by sin square of 15 degrees. But we know very well cos 75 is same as sin 15. Finally, we get beta is equals to 1 divided by sin of 15 degrees. Now, once we know the sin 15 value, sin 15 degrees value, which is clearly root 3 minus 1 by 2 root 2, right? So we get the beta value, that is 2 root 2 divided by root 3 minus 1. Now, if you want alpha, take this value of beta, substitute in this equation here, and if you similarly calculate, you will get the value of alpha also. But let's look at what is required here. We are supposed to find out the value of alpha plus root 2 times of root 3 minus 1 into beta. But once we know the values of alpha and beta, you can do the remaining calculation. Okay? So once again, I'm leaving the calculation part to you, and you try to solve it and check the answer. Okay, and this is a question from JEE Mains 2025. And for this, the answer should be 2 minus root 3. If you solve this, you can verify your answer. The final answer should be 2 minus root 3. Okay, let's take the last question for this video. So this is a question from 2025 mains, and this is one of the most repeated questions of PYQ mains. So let's read the question. There are two vectors given to us, a bar and also b bar, and they said that c cap is a unit vector in the plane of the vectors a bar and b bar, and also it is perpendicular to the vector a bar. So let's write in simple words what is given. That c bar is coplanar. C bar is coplanar with A bar, comma B bar, because it is a unit vector lying in the plane of A bar and B bar, which means they are coplanar. And also, what is the condition given here? C bar is also perpendicular to the vector A bar. Okay. Now, here, many students might go for the lengthy method by assuming C cap is equal to some xi plus yj plus zk, and then applying the conditions of coplanarity, that is, det is equals to 0, and then dot product of this C and A is equals to 0, C cap and A bar is equals to 0. And then since it is a unit vector, modulus is equal to 1, three equations, three unknowns. So it will take a lot of time to solve in that way. Now let's see the simpler way by using the concept of vector triple product. Okay, this will save us a lot of time. Okay? So vector triple product is nothing but when we have A cross B cross C. A bar cross brackets of B cross C will be is equals to A bar dot C bar multiplied by B bar minus of A bar dot B bar multiplied by C bar. So this is your formula for vector triple product. But in this case, formula along with the formula, we should know what exactly it is representing also. So whenever we write the vector A bar cross B bar cross C bar, the meaning is this is a vector. I will write the statement, no problem. It's very, very important. This is a vector coplanar with B bar comma C bar and also perpendicular to the vector A bar. Okay. So you just need to look at the vectors which are in the bracket there. So with that vectors, this vector will be coplanar. And then since A bar is outside there, it will be perpendicular to A bar. So whenever we write A cross B cross C, it will be a vector which is coplanar with B bar and C bar and also perpendicular to A bar. Now, by looking at this given question here, already I mentioned here, right, that C cap is coplanar with A bar and B bar, and also C cap is also perpendicular to A bar here, right? So by using this vector triple product, I'm going to write this vector C cap. C cap is equals to some lambda times of, because it can be a scalar multiple, right? That is why lambda times of. First, what I'll do is A bar cross product with A bar cross B bar. Okay, I hope you understand this, because as I told just now, this vector C cap, whatever you are writing, is a scalar multiple of vector triple product A cross B, because this A and B bar are in the bracket. So with that vector, C cap is going to be coplanar. And what is the vector outside the bracket? A bar. So with that vector, it is going to be perpendicular. If you want, shall I mention like this? So these two vectors will be perpendicular and these three vectors will be coplanar vectors. So this is the idea here. Okay. And moreover, in this case, they are saying unit vector, right? At last, you can apply modulus on both sides and get the value of lambda. So let's do the formula part also here. C cap is equals to lambda times of. Now, by looking at the above formula, we'll write this A cross B. So let's do it. A bar dot B bar multiplied by A bar minus of A dot A multiplied by B bar. And then clearly the two vectors A bar and B bar are given, right? So let's note down that clearly here A bar is given by 1 comma 2 comma 1 and B bar is given by 2 comma 1 comma minus 1. So let's do the calculation. C cap is equals to lambda times of A dot B is nothing but 2 plus 2 4, 4 minus 1 3. 3 times of A bar. A bar is I cap plus 2j cap plus k cap minus of a dot a means mod a whole square. Mod a whole square here is 1 plus 4 plus 1, which is 6 times of b bar. B bar is 2y cap plus j cap minus of k cap. And you can do the remaining simplification part. C cap will be is equals to lambda times of 3i minus of 12i, which will give you minus 9i. And 6 minus of 6, which will be cancelled out, j cap. And then 3k cap plus 6k cap, which will give you 9k cap. Finally, you can take that 9 also common. And finally, you can write as 9 times of lambda multiplied by minus I cap plus k cap. Now, moreover, you can apply mod on both sides, right? So, modulus of C cap is equals to 9 into modulus of lambda multiplied by modulus of I minus I cap plus k cap will be square root of 2. And this mod of C cap is nothing but 1. And finally, we have lambda is equals to plus or minus 1 divided by 9 square root. So, these are the values of. So since we got the values of lambda, we can take these values and substitute back to get the vector c cap. So c cap is equals to 9 into lambda values are plus or minus 1 divided by 9 square root 2 multiplied by minus I cap plus k cap. So 9 will be cancelled out. Finally, c cap is equals to plus minus square root of 1 by 2 multiplied by minus I cap plus k cap. So this is your vector C cap which is required. Okay. So as I told, if you had done the process which I told earlier that assuming the vector xi plus yj plus zk, it was going to be very lengthy, and this is the easiest way to solve this kind of questions. Okay, very important. This model was asked many times in the JEE mains. Okay, so once again I'll repeat. I'll repeat. Observe carefully. Whenever we have A cross B whole cross C, okay, A cross B whole cross C, and if I'm taking it as some vector D bar here, okay. Now, what do we need to understand? First, look at the vectors in the bracket here, which are A bar and B bar, right? Which means this D bar and A bar comma B bar will be coplanar. And what is a vector that is outside the bracket? C bar. So which means the C bar and also D bar will be perpendicular to each other. So in this case, A cross B whole cross C is going to be a vector which is coplanar with A bar and B bar and also perpendicular to C. So that's how we need to understand the vector triple product. Okay. So this is about the top 10 questions from vector algebra. Okay. Thank you. And in the next video, we'll see the top 10 PYQ questions from 3D geometry also, one of the interesting topics and also easy to score. Okay, thank you.